Okay, hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to episode 100 of the FORTNITE Mythbusters. Since day one, the support and love on this series has been unreal, and I just want to say a massive thank you for the support through this entire journey. And I'm not going anywhere, so maybe episode 200 is on the horizon. Anyways, guys, just like always, if you do have a myth you would like me to test in the next or future episodes of the FORTNITE Mythbusters, make sure to go down in the comments and drop a comment of that myth for a pretty good chance to be featured. As well, for episode 100, if you could smash 100,000 likes, that would be unreal. I highly doubt that, but if we could, that would be insane. And also, if you are new around here, I noticed that only 13% of my viewers are actually subscribed, so we're on the way to 1 million subscribers. So if you do enjoy it, feel free to consider subscribing and turning on those post notifications. Anyways, guys, in today's video, I basically go over my all-time favorite myths and the most highly requested myths, the most unique ones that have ever been asked on my channel. So I hope you guys enjoy. To kick things off, the very first myth, this myth is, can you spectate your teammate while they're still on the battle bus? When I tested this myth out, it was all the way back in like season 6 or 7, so this was a very long time ago, and the answer still remains the exact same. Basically, I jumped out of the battle bus with my second account still in the bus, and I tried to land as quick as I possibly could and kill myself somehow. That way I could spectate my teammate while the bus is still going. Unfortunately though, no matter how fast you die in game, it'll keep you on the reboot card screen until the battle bus actually forces the player out of the bus itself. I know this because I tested also to see how long it'll take you to get off of the reboot screen on a regular match, and it was much shorter than what I had on this. Going into the next myth, is what happens when someone throws an impulse grenade before you land after being shot out of a cannon. Now, I didn't add this myth in because it was a difficult myth or something extremely unique. The thing why I added this into today's video is because the outcome of this myth was actually pretty insane and something I've never seen before. If you time it correctly after your player being launched out of the cannon and hitting the explosion range of the impulse grenade, it'll actually launch the player back while he's still in the cannonball form, which I thought was pretty crazy. I thought this myth was actually very interesting, and it was an outcome of something that that I really had no expectations for. So for this to happen, I thought it was really cool. Going into another highly requested myth at the time, this myth is what happens when the last 2 players die to an enemy spike trap. Now, when I made this myth, it was actually an answer that no one's really ever had before, which is why it was so interesting, and I still to this day get tons of comments asking to do the same myth. Basically, I had an enemy place down a spike trap, and then we kill that enemy. That way the spike trap, it was on a neutral team with no player in the actual game itself. After that, we basically baited out the trap. That way me and the enemy on the other team, as well the other enemy in the solo game, could actually jump into the spike trap box at the same time, and the spike would actually deploy at the exact same time. And from there, it was basically a 50-50 chance. Even though he was closer to the spike trap, I was somehow affected because I had a higher ping. Going into the next myth, is what happens when you open a gifted season 10 battle pass in season 11. Now, this myth I still get to this day, and I don't ever test it out again because seasons aren't that often, as well as basically every single season is the exact same. When I first tried this myth out in season 10, like early season 10, before we even knew it was going to be a brand new map, I gifted my second account a battle pass, and I did not touch that account all the way up till chapter 2, when it was literally a brand new map, a whole new chapter of Fortnite, which is why this myth was so interesting. After waiting a very long time to open up this battle pass that I sent out September 17th of 2018, was it 2018, 2019? I don't even know, a long time ago, I finally was able to open up the battle pass, and surprisingly it still gave my account the default skins that you get automatically in Fortnite season 10. So it was the skins that you would automatically unlock when you do open up the battle pass or buy the battle pass at first. Unfortunately though, I did not glitch the system nor have access to the chapter 2 battle pass. Going into the next myth, is what happens when you reboot your teammate at 2 separate reboot vans. This is another myth to this day that I still get tons and tons of requests to do, so it's still the exact same outcome, and that's why I really don't test it again, because the outcomes tend to be the exact same. And for the people who did see this episode, it's kind of just like a repeat. When I tested this myth out though, I actually had the POV of the person that we were rebooting, and you could see that when we both were holding down the reboot cards, it was kind of like bugging back and forth, and normally it'll show the person actually, you know, holding down the reboot thing, like actually, you know, putting their hand out towards the reboot van. But in this case, it was entirely glitched. It just showed the reboot van roof, and that's really it. But from what we could tell, it's basically just a 50-50 chance to be either rebooted at this machine or the other machine. Going into the next myth is, can you break the 1 million HP duck with just a shockwave grenade? The reason why I added this myth in specifically is because of the outcome. The outcome was very interesting, and we learned a lot about the shockwave grenade. What we know about the shockwave grenade is that it'll blow your player through no matter what surface it is. If it's wood, metal, or brick, it'll launch your player through multiple layers of that surface, and you know, you basically could escape situations very easily. What we actually found out though when we launched our player into the 1 million HP duck with the shockwave grenade is that it does, you know, about like 40,000 damage to structures, which is an insane amount, more than you do multiple games combined. So, you know, I thought this was a very interesting myth and something that I did not know before I even tested this. I mean, like, who knew shockwave grenades really did this amount of damage? Going into the next myth is, do skins change hitboxes? Now this goes way back into the OG days when everybody thought, you know, like skins, like the, you know, the Nutcracker skin, just because the hat was way taller, it made the hitbox way more. And I mean, yeah, it does have massive disadvantages in game, like, you know, you're way easier to see, or your head peeks over certain surfaces, but you know, skins actually don't change hitboxes no matter what, only if it's a male or female character, which, you know, they have different hitboxes themselves. So, you know, that's something to keep in mind next time you buy a skin. The next myth is actually very interesting. This myth is, can you see the storm before the game begins with the Storm Scout sniper rifle? Even though we possibly won't see the sniper back in the game, when I tested this specific myth out, everybody thought maybe you could get a quick advantage, you know, if you find the sniper rifle on the spawn island before anybody, but it never would spawn. I then found a Reddit post where it actually says, question, can the Storm Scout sniper actually spawn on the spawn island? And somebody said no, but they actually found one in a chest before the storm formed, and it just shows the map, and that's it. It won't actually show the layout of the storm until it actually forms, which entirely makes sense because at the time I went into, you know, a playground game or a creative game, and it just showed the map. Sometimes it wouldn't even show the map, and that entirely makes sense because the storm wasn't even formed then as well. Now, to be honest, I'm very grateful for the next myth because this was my first ever million viewed video on YouTube. This myth is, what happens when a supply drop lands on top of a launch pad? Now, at the time, doing this myth was actually very difficult to do, and even in a regular game right now, it's still difficult to do. Now, I actually feel really bad because in the video, we thought that supply drops were never able to land in the very center of a floor, but there's soon to be a lot of people who tested this themselves as well, and they actually had a supply drop land in the direct center of a launch pad, and nothing ever happened. Think of a supply drop landing on the center of, you know, just any structure. That's the exact same thing that happens with the launch pad. You know, it lands on the ground. Nothing changes. Going into another highly requested myth, even nowadays, this myth is, what happens when the kill counter backbling reaches 100 kills? When I tried this myth out, I was in basically a playground game, and I farmed up my second account all the way to 100 kills, and unfortunately, right when you hit that special 99 mark, it will cap. No matter how many more kills you get above that, even if you get 101, 110, 120, it'll still show 99. You know, the kill backbling, you know, it doesn't mess up. It doesn't say like 00 or anything. It just is stuck at 99, which was pretty unfortunate. Going into the next myth is, can you find treasure with no treasure map? Now, it's unlikely that the treasure map will ever be added back into Fortnite, but you never know, especially with the brand new season coming up. It might be another pirate theme, or maybe there will be an LTM with this specific, you know, item involved. Anyways, basically, we got a treasure map in game, and I had my friend who was on the enemy team follow right behind me while I led him directly to the X, where basically you have to dig up the treasure. And keep in mind, he never touched this map once, so you know, he basically swung at the ground, and surprisingly he was still able to dig up the treasure, open up the chest, and get all of the loot out of it. I remember the next couple of days after I posted this video, because this video absolutely blew up. This was like my first ever 100,000 liked video, which I am very grateful for. Thank you guys guys so much. I saw a lot of people swinging at the ground, and it was pretty funny. It was a lot of easy kills. Anyways, guys, that wraps it up for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. If you are new, make sure to drop a comment of your myth down below for a pretty good chance to be featured in the next or future episodes. And once again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all of the support and supporting me to reach episode 100. Hopefully one day we will reach episode 1000. Anyways, guys, love you all so much, and I will see you all next time. Peace.